Look, I'm not in the Hall of Fame like Pete, and I was not a very good player like Pete, okay? Hopefully I can give you a few things to share. A lot of the things he said I'm just going to reinforce. But here's what I want to say to you, and I want you guys to think about this. Basketball does not define you, but your approach to basketball defines you. Basketball should not define you. That shouldn't be the end-all and the be-all of who you are. People ask you who you are, you shouldn't say, well, I'm a basketball player. That's just part of your life. But your approach to basketball does define you. The way you approach the game defines you. In other words, when you walk into a gym, are you selfless or are you selfish? Do you walk into a gym with the idea of, I'm so thankful to be here, or is it just another thing on your checklist you got to do that day? What's your approach? Are you a hard worker when the coach isn't watching? Or are you cutting corners and giggling at the end of the line with the other guys, trying to get away with stuff? Your approach to basketball defines you. That's who you are. It's not the most important thing in the world, but the way you approach it is really important. Are you excited when you're sitting on the bench and your teammates are making a big run, or are you sitting there pouting? That defines you. Tells us what kind of person you are. Parents, what kind of parents are you? How's this game define you? When your son's not getting to play and you think he should, how do you handle that? What's your approach? Are you in this because you want your son to play at the next level, whatever the heck that means? I haven't figured that out yet, what level and what matters. What's your approach? What's your approach when your son comes home and upset because coach got on him? Is it automatically take his side, or you talk it out, or you say, hey, he's a good man, she's a good woman, listen to him, you'll do better tomorrow? What's your approach to the game? Because here's the deal, parents and guys. Here's the deal. You can learn great lessons from this game, whether you're winning or losing, whether you're getting to play or you're sitting. You can learn unbelievable lessons. And I really think it's unfair, and a friend of mine who died about 4 years ago was a mentor to me, told me one time, it's unfair to be thankful only when things are going good. You need to be thankful when things are going bad. Now, this is a guy who told, when he got cancer, stood in front of me and my team and said, I thank God every day I got cancer. And I'm like, you're out of your mind. And I got him later. I said, why did you say that? You can't possibly believe that. He goes, Bob, I've had the chance the last few years to speak all around the country, make a lot of money, and I wasn't just doing it for my family and me. I was doing it for my ego. And I got cancer, and all of a sudden I became a better husband and father. God love you, Kevin Toohey, for that lesson. Parents and players, you can learn from this game no matter what. Basketball doesn't define you. Your approach to the game defines you. And I'll tell you what, I got challenged on that this year. We just finished the best 3 years in Denison basketball history. 2016, 17, 18. Went to the national tournament, went 22-5 one year, best school in school history. We're ranked 19th in the country. 3 years in a row, the school had never been to the conference finals. 3 years in a row, we go to the conference semifinals. We were good and thought we were going to be pretty good this year. And we got humbled a little bit. We were 7-17. Had a rough year. And I can go into why and what for and all that. Not going to bore you. Here's the deal. I tell my players all the time, basketball doesn't define you. Your approach to basketball defines you. And we had that put onto a test this year because it would have been real easy. My guys are paying $60,000 a year to go to school. They're not on scholarship. We ain't on TV. We get a couple hundred people at games, okay? It'd be real easy to come into that gym every day and tank it and just get through. And my guys work their butts off every day. I had somebody come to a practice a week ago. A friend of mine came to a practice, hadn't seen us play this year. He goes, God darn, I think you guys are undefeated. Good. That's the way it's supposed to be. We had a practice before our last game this Friday. And we were in a drill where we had to get 3 stops in a row. And we had a freshman in there that just couldn't get it done. And we stayed in that darn drill for 15, 20 minutes because that's what we would have done on the first day of practice. That was our approach. Win, lose, draw. My guys don't make excuses. They owned it. It was our season. And I'm really proud of them for that. Not happy with our record. And I'm not telling you winning isn't important. It's really important. But your approach to the game is a heck of a lot more important, and our guys had a good approach. But it got put to a test. It got put to a test for me, because I'm a guy that believes that stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, people, guys, parents, it was a heck of a lot easier to have a great approach the last 3 years than it was this year. There were a lot of days I didn't want to go to the gym. There were a lot of days I was like, and then I thought, no. There were days when things weren't going well, and I'm thinking, just be quiet, let it go, let's get, no. Couldn't let it happen. We're going to do things the right way. So you can learn these lessons, people. Eyes here, please. You can learn these lessons, whether you're winning, losing, playing or not, getting the most points or not. It doesn't matter. That's what this is about. Honor the game. See, this game teaches you who you are. It'll tell you who you are. And sometimes you're going to find out you're selfish. That's okay, as long as you deal with it. Parents, there's a whole bunch of you out there, successful people, good people, leaders in the community. You're going to find out sometimes, man, I'm being a little selfish here. I'm only looking at what's good for my son. That's okay too, as long as you deal with it. You know, Michelle Obama, when she was getting ready to get married to Barack Obama, her brother was a college All-American at Princeton, and he was a college basketball coach. And he wanted to meet this clown that was going to marry his sister. And you know what he did? He found out Barack Obama liked to play pickup basketball, and he said, I'm going to take him out and we're going to play ball with my buddies. And his sister said, well, he was no big-time player. He played a year of college. Why are you going to do that? Because I'm going to find out who he is. And I'm going to tell you whether you can marry him or not. Took him out and played, found out Barack was not afraid to make the extra pass. He was not afraid to dive on the floor for loose balls. He wasn't afraid to play defense. Came home and said, he's okay, you can marry him. This game will tell you who you are. And sometimes it'll tell you things you don't want. Told me some things this year I didn't like about myself, and found out that I was more caught up in winning sometimes than I was in doing it the right way. And then I figured it out. Got to keep doing it the right way. Okay, so the bottom line is basketball does not define you, but your approach to basketball will define you. You guys got a great opportunity here. You got a great organization here. You got tremendous parents here. Take advantage of it. Find out who you really are. Just like Coach was talking about, what it's going to come down to, we had our alumni down. I'm going to stop talking. Last week, I had 35 alums come back. And I went out afterwards with some of them. Some of them played on good teams, some of them on real average teams. But what one of them said to me was, Coach, you don't remember the winning and the losing. You remember what you went through together. You remember hard practices. You remember getting on each other. You remember long road trips. You remember studying on the bus. That's what we all remember, and we all wish we could do it again. So keep that in mind. Be a good teammate. Find out who you are from this game, and have a great approach to everything you do in your life. That's the most important thing. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Stay up here with me.